Assalamu alaikum. Hope you all are fine. This lecture is about the love song of Alfred Prufrock. That is another famous poem by T.S. Eliot. It was written in 1917. The title is though the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, but let me tell you that it's not a traditional kind of love song or just or like other love poems that we read in our syllabus or that we read in English literature. This is basically the analysis of the mental condition and the analysis of his mind, that he is indecisive. He cannot take a decision to propose his beloved, and he gives so many reasons for his indecisiveness. And this poem at the same time is also about the pollution of the modern world, the pollution in the big cities in the modern world. Okay, let's see what else is there in the poem. Let's start this poem. That is, let us go then, you and I. It seems from the first line that it is a conversation between two people, that one is offering the other one to have a walk. That is, let us go then, you and I. But let me tell you that it's not a conversation between two people. It's the imagination of the lover, that is Prufrock. Okay, he is imagining, he is thinking that he will go with his beloved for a walk. Okay, let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky. Means he imagines that he is offering his beloved for a walk when it is evening time. Like a patient authorized upon a table. Here this line, this is a simile, and it is like the lover is comparing himself, Prufrock is comparing himself with a patient who is given a certain kind of medicine for an operation. Just like when a patient is going to be operated, he is given a certain kind of medicine, or he is injected with anesthesia to render him unconscious. Okay, so that he does not feel any kind of pain or he does not know what happens to his body while that operation. Okay, so that is why Prufrock is comparing himself with that patient who does not know what is happening to his body. In some cases, in some minor kind of surgeries, this medicine is given to patients due to which that certain part of the body becomes unconscious, that is to be operated, just like in dental surgeries, just like other minor surgeries. Okay, so in that case the patient is conscious, but at the same time he does not feel any kind of pain, he does not know what is happening to his body. So the same condition is with Prufrock, that he is conscious but he does not know what is happening with him, what is happening around him. Okay, let us go through certain half deserted streets. He says that they will go through that half deserted streets, means the streets in the evening time where there will be less people, so that's why half deserted streets. The muttering retreats of restless nights in one night cheap hotels. That there are cheap hotels as well, where the visitors stay for one night. Okay, and due to lack of facilities in those cheap hotels, the visitor mutter in their sleeps. Okay, and they have restless nights. Okay, they cannot sleep comfortably in those cheap hotels because there are very less facilities. And sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, and the restaurants are also very dirty because this area specifically is for lower class people or for the working class people. That's why the hotels are very cheap, the restaurants are full of dusts and oyster shells. Streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent to lead you to an overwhelming question. The streets are like tedious argument, means the streets are like in a kind of zigzag shape because there are so many streets, never ending streets, and in which when one wanders, does not know where he is going and where is his destination. Okay, so that's why he says that the streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent. The streets are like that argument, like that kind of argument which has a hidden purpose, which has a big purpose, but the destination is unknown. That is never ending argument. Okay, and which leads you to an important point, which and here that important point or that important question, what is that important question? He says, oh, do not ask what is it, let us go and make our visit. He does not tell the question, or he does not tell that important point, important matter to his beloved in his imagination, because he is afraid. He is confused. He cannot tell the matter. The matter is basically of the proposal. He wants to propose his beloved for marriage, but he is confused, he is nervous, he is indecisive, and he cannot take this step to propose his beloved. He makes his mind so many times, but he reverses that decision, and he reverses his intention and his idea of proposing his beloved due to the fear of rejection, due to the fear of cold response from his beloved. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. These rooms are, here Prufrock is talking about the rooms of those cheap hotels, where women come and go and they talk about Michelangelo. And Michelangelo was a famous painter of Italy in 16th century. And it was a trend at that time talking about painters, talking about paintings. But here, these two lines, these are a satire on the pretensions of females at that time, that they did not know anything about paintings, and they did not know anything about Michelangelo, but though it was a trend, so they used to talk about Michelangelo. The yellow fog that rubs its beak upon the window panes, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes. In these lines, in these few lines, T.S. Eliot has shown the pollution in the big cities in the modern world. You see this fog and smoke, these are symbols of pollution. Okay, and this pollution, this kind of pollution is now very common in the big cities, especially in Pakistan as well. It has become very common. If we go back a few years back, so we do not find any kind of traces of fog in those big cities, just like Lahore, and nowadays in Karachi as well, you can witness fog. Okay, smoke is though very common due to factories, due to those factories, and due to the vehicles, transportation. But fog, it has also become very common nowadays due to the pollution. So these lines show pollution of those big cities as well. And at the same time, this line, the yellow fog that rubs its beak upon the window panes, this yellow fog and yellow smoke, this has been shown as an animal, as if it is an animal that rubs its beak upon the window panes, and the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle means the front part of the head on the window panes. Okay, so here the yellow fog is compared with an animal, more specifically a cat. Okay, licked its tongue into the corners of the evening. It means that the fog and the smoke reached to every corner of the evening, means it spread throughout all the areas in that evening time. Lingered upon the pools that stained in rains. It was there was fog in the pools as well. Okay, on the pools as well, in the drains, means in the dirty waters. Let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys. Means in that yellow fog and yellow smoke, the soot, that is soot means these are black particles which fall from the chimneys of the factories. Okay, so here T.S. Eliot means to say that soot or that black particles were also included in that smog and fog. Okay, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden leap, means that fog and smoke that passed by the terrace and that made a sudden leap, and seeing that it was a soft October night, means it jumped into that October night, means in the night as well there was fog, curled once about the house and fell asleep, means throughout the night there was fog. Okay, there was fog, there was smoke, including that soot, that black particles that come out from the chimneys of the factories. Okay, so throughout the night there was fog and smoke. Okay, and just like there is one more interpretation, just like this fog like moves very slowly, so is the case with the mind of Prufrock, that Prufrock's mind also moves very slowly, that he does not like take decisions very hastily. He is not in any kind of hurry. Okay, so the slowness of fog is like you can say resembled with the slowness of Prufrock's mind. Okay, then we see that Prufrock says that, and indeed there will be time. This line also indicates that Prufrock is not in any kind of hurry, and indeed there will be time for the yellow smoke that slides along the street, for the yellow smoke that moves along the street, rubbing its back upon the window panes. There will be time. There will be time. He says that there will be enough time for him to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. He says that there will be time for one to prepare himself to meet the faces that you meet, means to meet your friends. Okay, there will be enough time for one to prepare himself and then meet his friends. There will be time to murder and create. He means to say that there will be enough time, enough to kill someone, to murder someone, and then to create something. And time for all the works and days of hands, means there will be enough time to do all the activities that one does on daily basis. That lift and drop a question on your plate. He means to say that there will be enough time to prepare the question, to prepare himself, to prepare oneself, and then drop a question on your plate, means to ask that question or to introduce the matter. Time for you and time for me. He says that there will be time for you and time for me as well. Here you means his beloved, because he is imagining. And time yet for 100 indecisions. He says that there will be time to take a decision and then reverse that decision. And for 100 visions and revisions. And he says that there will be enough time to think about the matter for 100 times and then relinquish the idea. Okay, to think and rethink, means to dream and redream about that matter. Before the taking of tea, the taking of a toast and tea. He says that there will be enough time for him to do all these things, to make his mind and then relinquish the idea before the taking of a toast and tea. Again, the same lines are repeated here. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Angelo. And indeed, there will be time to wonder, do I dare? And do I dare? He says that there will be time for him to think that whether he has enough courage to propose his beloved. He says that there will be enough time for him to think about this. Time to turn back and descend the stair. He says that there will be time for him to step back, to turn back and go downstairs. With a bald spot in the middle of my hair. They will say how his hair is growing thin. He says that there will be time for him to step back, to turn back and go downstairs. But when he goes downstairs, the bald spot in the middle of his head will be visible to the people there, especially to females, and they will laugh at him. They will criticize him. They will laugh at him and they will say how his hair is growing thin. That They will laugh at him and say that he has lost his hair and his hair are falling down. Okay, so he is like here afraid of that bald spot in the middle of his head. My morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest, but asserted by a simple pin. They will say, but how his arms and legs are thin. He says that his smart dress, his fancy dress will not be noticed by those people, by those females there. But what will they notice will be his thin arms and thin legs and his hairless head. Okay, so he's afraid of his thin legs, thin arms and his hairless head. Okay, and that's why he says that his fancy dress will not be noticed by the females there. So here it means that Prufrock is like growing old. He can be middle aged, more than 40 years old. Okay, that's why he has a bald spot in the middle of his head and he has thin arms and thin legs. So he is afraid of proposing his beloved in such kind of situations. Do I dare disturb the universe? Here, disturb the universe means like Prufrock is comparing that proposal to his beloved with disturbing the universe. Why? Because you have seen here that he has a bald spot in the middle of his hair, okay, and his arms and legs are thin. So he says that he will be criticized there, he will be laughed at, and in such case, if he proposes the lady that he loves, it will have very worst consequences for him. Okay, and it will be like disturbing the whole universe. Okay, proposing his beloved in such kind of situation in his present condition will be similar to disturbing the whole universe, because he means to say that the consequences will be worse, that he will be rejected. Okay, in a minute there is time for decisions and revisions, which a minute will reverse. He says that he will have time to think about it and then to reverse his thinking and to stop this idea to propose his beloved. Okay, he is afraid here, he is confused here, that's why he is unable to decide to propose his lady. He cannot decide to take this step of proposing his beloved. Then he says, for I have known them all already, known them all. He says that he has known or he knows the women, the females there already. He knows them all. He has spent time, just like a modern man, he has spent most of his time with females. Have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. He says that he knows what these females do in the mornings, in the afternoons, in the evenings. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. Here he says, or he compares his life with the coffee spoons. He says that just like the coffee spoons are exact and never changing, okay, and they have only one purpose, so is the case with the life of Prufrock, that he has wasted his life in trivial activities. He does not have any purpose in his life. He does the same things on daily basis. He repeats his daily routines all the day. He does not have any big purpose in his life. I know the voices dying with a dying fall beneath the music from a farther room. He says that he knows the voices that are singing in the other room. Okay, he says that the music that he listens to and the voices that he can listen, he knows whose voices are this, that who is singing, which females are singing in the other rooms. So how should I presume? He says that how should he take this step of proposing his beloved? He is confused again, he is indecisive. And I have known the eyes already, known them all. He is now talking about the eyes of those females especially. He says that he knows those eyes. The eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase. He says that those eyes, they are like critical kind of eyes. These females are like big critics and they fix each and everyone in a formulated phrase, means they label the people, they give certain titles, certain labels to the people. And when I am formulated, sprawling on a pin, he says that when I am labeled, I will be given a label. Okay, sprawling on a pin, when I am pinned and wriggling on the wall. He says that when I am labeled, my condition, my situation will be like a kind of worm, like an insect that sprawls on a pin, that crawls on a pin, and then like a worm, like an insect that is pinned against the wall, that is fixed on the wall with a kind of sharp pin. Okay, he says that when I am labeled, my condition will be like an insect that crawls on a pin, and like that insect that is fixed on the wall with a sharp pin, and I will not be able to do anything except struggling. Okay, wriggling on the wall means struggling on the wall. Okay, so he means to say that he will be labeled in such kind of way that this will be his situation, his condition. Okay, then how should I begin to spit out all the butt ends of my days and ways? Here he once again is comparing his daily routine, his daily activities, or his life with the butt ends, means with the ends of cigarettes. Okay, when people smoke cigarette, they throw the ends away because the ends of the cigarettes do not have any purpose, any job to do. That's why people throw them. And here Prufrock is comparing his life, his activities, or the activities of his daily life with those butt ends of the cigarette. Okay, he says that how should he begin? Should he begin to talk about the trivial activities of his daily life, and how should I presume? So he is in this recurring lines, we can see that he is very much confused. He does not know how to propose his beloved. He does not have any idea to take this step. And I have known the arms already, known them all. He says that he knows the arms of those females, arms that are braceleted and white and bare. He says that he knows those arms which have bracelet, and they are white and they are uncovered. Okay, they are bare means they are uncovered. The females, they are wearing bracelets on their hands. Okay, and their hands are white and they are uncovered. But in the lamplight, downed with light brown hair. He says that when seen against the lamplight, one can see that they are covered, that their hands, the hands of those females are covered with light brown hair. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? He says that he can smell a perfume from a dress of a female that makes him that stops him taking this step of proposing his beloved. Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl. He says that he knows those arms that are lying on a table or they are wrapped about a shawl. And should I then presume, and how should I begin? So still like you see that he is very much confused. He does not have any idea and he is indecisive. He cannot decide what to do. Shall I say, I have gone at dusk through narrow streets and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. He says that, or he's asking basically that how should he propose his beloved? Should he say in this manner that he has gone at dusk, means in evening times through the narrow streets. He has wandered in the evening time through narrow streets and he has observed people. He has seen lonely men. He has seen, lonely here means unmarried men. He has seen lonely men smoking their pipes, a kind of cigarette, or smoking their cigarettes, and he has seen the smoke rises from those cigarettes that the lonely man, the unmarried man are smoking. okay, and they are looking out of the windows. So he means to say that should he say in this manner that he would talk about the loneliness of the man that he has seen. So this talking about this loneliness of man would emphasize his own loneliness, okay. That's why he says that should he say in this manner that he will talk about the loneliness of men, and this talking about loneliness of men would emphasize his own loneliness, and his beloved will get what I want to say exactly. I should have been a pair of ragged claws scuttling across the floors of silent seas. Here, Prufrock wants to escape from the harsh realities of life. He cannot face the realities of life. That's why he wants to escape from it. He wishes here to have been a pair of ragged claws, means he wishes to have been a kind of sea animal, a kind of sea creature, more probably a crab, okay, because a crab also has claws, and it also is a sea animal, is a sea creature. So he wishes to have been a crab which wanders across the floors of silent seas, means which wanders or which roams on the seashores, okay. Silent seas means where there is no one, lonely places, okay. So he also wishes to have been like the same creature, because he cannot face the harsh realities of life. He wishes that he should have been a crab which roams or which wanders on the seashores where there is no one, and he could easily escape when there is someone. In the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully, means the afternoon converts in the evening, and then the evening also converts in the night, sleeps so peacefully, okay. Smoothed by long fingers. Here he compares the evening with a kind of animal, especially cat, okay. Smoothed by long fingers, asleep, tired, or it malingers. Malingers here means that which pretends to be tired or which pretends to fall asleep. Stretched on the floor here beside you and me. Should I, after tea and cakes and ices, have the strength to force the moment to its crisis? He says that after taking tea and cakes and ices, means after taking tea and some snacks, will he have this courage? Will he have strength to propose his beloved, to talk about the matter, to introduce the matter? But though I have wept and fasted, wept and prayed. He says that he has wept a lot, he has fasted, he has prayed a lot. Though I have seen my head grown slightly bald, brought in upon a platter. He says that he has seen his head being cut and being brought in upon a platter, in a kind of plate. So he means to say that he is very afraid. Whenever he thinks about this proposal, he imagines that he is killed and his head is cut, and then his head is brought in upon a platter. I am no prophet, and here is no great matter. He says that he is not a prophet, and this matter is not of a great importance. The matter of proposing his beloved is not of a great importance. I have seen the moment of my greatness flicker. He says that he has seen himself. He has experienced this, that even at the time of very important things, at the time of his greatness, he hesitates, okay, or he becomes confused, he becomes nervous, even in the time of his greatness, even at the time of his great achievements. So this matter is not of great importance. And I have seen the eternal footman hold my coat and snicker. Here this phrase eternal footman symbolizes the angel of death, okay. He says that he has seen the angel of death hold my coat and snicker, means laugh. He says that he has seen the angel of death holding his coat and laughing at him. So it means that he is very afraid. Whenever he thinks about proposing his beloved, he sees or he imagines that his head is cut, okay, he is killed, and he imagines that the angel of death arrives for him. So he is very afraid. He thinks that when he proposes his beloved, he will die. And in short, I was afraid. So he here confesses himself that he is afraid a lot and he is indecisive. And would it have been worth it after all? After the cups, the marmalade, the tea, he is now asking that would it have been of any use that if he proposes his beloved after the cups, means after the tea, the marmalade means a kind of jam, means after having this kind of breakfast, among the porcelain means that fancy dishes, chinaware, among some talk of you and me. Would it have been worthwhile to have bitten off the matter with a smile, means to introduce the matter, to introduce or to talk about this proposal with a smile, to have squeezed the universe into a ball. He is now comparing this proposal to his lady with squeezing the whole universe into a ball. He means to say that proposing his beloved is as difficult as squeezing the whole universe into a ball. Okay, so it means that it is very difficult for him to propose his beloved. It is nearly impossible for him to propose his beloved, because it is just like squeezing the whole universe into a ball. To roll it towards some overwhelming question, means to squeeze the universe into a ball and then roll it towards that important question. To say, I am Lazarus, come from the dead. Come back to tell you all, I shall tell you all. Here there is an allusion towards Lazarus. Lazarus is mentioned in the Bible. There is a story of Lazarus in the Bible. He was sent to hell and he wanted to come back to the earth for a short period of time to tell his friends, to tell his companions about his experiences in hell. So here, talking about Lazarus, talking about hell, Prufrock means that his condition is also like the one who is in hell. Okay, this world or is hell for him, or his situation, his condition is just like the one who is living in hell. If one settling a pillow by her head should say, that is not what I meant at all, that is not it at all. He says that the lady or his beloved would be settling a pillow under her head, and then she would say that that is not what I meant at all, that is not it at all. She would say that you have misunderstood my feelings, you have misunderstood my courtesy, and I do not love you. Okay, you have misunderstood my feelings, my courtesy. And he means to say that she will reject his proposal. And would it have been worth it after all? Would it have been worthwhile? After the sunsets and the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, after the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this and so much more. These three lines, this indicate the activities that the people, the modern people do, or Prufrock does especially. Okay, that he says that would it have been of any use after those sunsets, means after the evening, after the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, means wandering around the streets, after reading the novel, after the teacups, taking the tea, and after the skirts that trail along the floor, means after the dance of those females wearing skirts, and this and so much more, means after all these activities, would it be possible for him, or would it be of any use to propose the lady? It is impossible to say just what I mean. he's confessing himself that it is impossible for him to propose his beloved. Okay, he most of the times he says that he was afraid, he cannot do this, and how should he begin, it is impossible to say. So he is confused here, he is indecisive. But as if a magic lantern threw the nerves in patterns on a screen, would it have been worthwhile? He says that if there is a magic lantern that would show his inner nervousness, his inner feelings to the females. He says that if there had been a magic lantern that could show his inner nervousness to the females, would it be of any use to propose the lady then? Because he was very nervous. He says that he was very nervous, or he would be very nervous when he proposes the lady. So it will become impossible for the ladies to accept his proposal when they come to know about the nervousness of the Prufrock. If one settling a pillow or throwing of a shawl and turning towards the window should say, that is not it at all, that is not what I meant at all. He means to say that there will be a clear rejection from his beloved. She will reject his proposal because she would come to know about the nervousness of Prufrock and she will reject him. Then he says that no, I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. Basically, you can see yourself that just like Prufrock is indecisive and cannot take this decision, same was the case with Prince Hamlet. Okay, that he was indecisive, he could not take the decision. That's why he says that to do or not to do, 'tis the question. Okay, so just like Prince Hamlet was indecisive, he could not take the decision, same is the case with Prufrock. But he says that he is not like Prince Hamlet. He says, no, I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. He is here denying this, that he is not Prince Hamlet. Am an attendant lord, one that will do to swell a progress, start a scene or two. He is here telling that he is Polonius, the father of Ophelia. Polonius, like an old man in the play. Okay, Ophelia's father. He says that he is like Polonius, that will do to swell a progress, that will participate in a kind of progress, in a kind of procession, start a scene or two, means take initiative in something, advise the prince. Who will advise the prince means who is very wise, no doubt, an easy tool, differential, glad to be of use, who will be very happy to be of any use, politic, cautious and meticulous, who is very careful, who is able to use good words in his conversation, full of high sentence but a bit obtuse, means who is at the same time a little bit stupid, a little bit dull, at times indeed almost ridiculous, almost at times the fool. He says that he is like Polonius, he is not like Prince Hamlet. He is like Polonius, who is of any use to the prince or the king, who advises the prince, and who is at the same time a little bit fool as well. Okay, so he says that he is fool, he is a kind of ridiculous sometimes. I grow old, I shall wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled. He says that he has grown old now, or he is growing old, so he should wear the bottoms of his trousers rolled. He should wear his pants or his trousers in such a way that the bottoms are rolled. Shall I part my hair behind? Do I dare to eat a peach? He says that he should part his hair behind. Okay, he should comb his hair in such a way that would cover the bald spot in the middle of his head. Okay, do I dare to eat a peach? I shall wear white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. He says that he should wear that white flannel trousers and walk upon the beach. I have heard the mermaids singing each to each. I do not think that they will sing to me. Here the word mermaids symbolizes the females, modern females. Okay, I have heard the mermaids singing each to each. I do not think that they will sing to me. Prufrock says that he has seen those mermaids, those females. Okay, I do not think that they will sing to me. Here it means that Prufrock says that he does not think that they will talk to him, or they will, or the female or his beloved will accept his proposal. Okay, I have seen them riding seaward on the waves. Prufrock says that he has seen those mermaids riding towards the sea on the waves. Okay, you know very well what mermaids are. They are a kind of a sea creature with the upper portion of a female, of a girl, and the lower portion of any sea creature. Okay, have seen them riding seaward on the waves, combing the white hair of the waves, blown back when the wind blows the water white and black. He says that he has seen those mermaids going towards, or riding towards the sea on the waves, and when they go towards the sea on the waves, they comb the white hair, means white foam of the waves. Okay, and when the wind blows, that waves turn into white and black. Okay, we have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by seagulls wreathed with seaweed red and brown. These two lines are the song of the mermaids. Okay, these two lines are the songs of the mermaids. They are singing that we have lingered in the chambers of the sea, that we have waited, or we have lived, or we live in the chambers of the sea, means we live deep down in the sea, by seagulls wreathed with seaweed red and brown. And we have been garlanded, we have been decorated by the seagulls with red and brown. Okay, this is the song of the mermaids. They are singing that they have lingered, they have lived in the chambers of the sea, deep down in the sea, and they have been decorated, they have been garlanded by the seagulls with red and brown. Okay, this is the last line. Till human voices wake us and we drown. Here human voices wake us means, as I have told you that Prufrock was imagining all these things. Okay, so he listens human voices, and he comes from his imagination into the real world. Okay, he is awakened from his imagination, from his daydreaming by human voices. Okay, when he listens some human voices around him, he comes into the reality. He comes from his daydreaming to the reality. And we drown means, here this word symbolizes the inner feelings of Prufrock, that he means that he suffers a lot. Okay, when he comes to the reality, he suffers a lot. Okay, so overall this poem is about the intention of the lover to propose his beloved, but at the same time he is confused, he is indecisive, he does not know how to do this. Though he has spent most of his time with females, that's why he says that I have known them all, I have known the eyes already, I have known the arms already. Still he does not know how to propose the lady, because he does not have any kind of experience in it. Okay, hope you would have got this poem. If you have any kind of confusion, you can ask me. Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.